Have you ever wondered why two people can start from the exact same place with similar education, similar opportunities, and even similar talents, yet end up living completely different lives? One builds wealth, creates opportunities, and keeps growing year after year, while the other struggles financially despite working just as hard. The answer isn't always intelligence, it isn't luck alone, and it certainly isn't where someone was born. More often than people realize, the biggest difference begins with mindset. Your mindset shapes the decisions you make every single day. Those daily decisions become habits, and those habits eventually determine the direction of your life. A wealthy mindset doesn't automatically make someone rich overnight. Likewise, having financial challenges doesn't mean someone has a poor mindset. A mindset is simply the way you think, learn, solve problems, and respond to opportunities. The good news is that mindset can change. One of the biggest differences between successful people and those who remain stuck is how they see learning. People with a growth-oriented mindset understand that every new skill increases their value. They invest time in reading, learning, practicing, and improving because they know today's knowledge can become tomorrow's opportunity. Others often believe that learning ends after school or college. They avoid developing new skills because they feel comfortable where they are. Unfortunately, the world keeps changing, and people who stop learning often struggle to keep up with those changes. Successful people understand something simple. The more valuable your skills become, the more valuable you become in the marketplace. That is why learning is never an expense. It is an investment. Another major difference is how people react to problems. Some people see problems as signs to quit. Others see problems as opportunities to improve. Every business exists because it solves a problem. Every useful product solves a problem. Every successful service solves a problem. Instead of asking, why is this happening to me? Successful thinkers often ask, what can I learn from this situation? That single question changes everything. Instead of feeling powerless, they become curious. Curiosity leads to learning. Learning leads to improvement. Improvement creates better opportunities. Another important difference appears when people think about time. Everyone receives the same 24 hours each day. The difference is how those hours are used. Some people spend most of their free time consuming endless entertainment without any purpose. Hours disappear without creating anything meaningful. Others intentionally dedicate part of every day to improving themselves. They may read a few pages of a book, practice an important skill, exercise, plan tomorrow, create content, learn something new. These actions may seem small, but repeated consistently over months and years, they produce extraordinary results. Time compounds just like money. A single productive hour may not seem important today, but hundreds of productive hours create expertise. Thousands create mastery. Another important mindset difference is the relationship people have with responsibility. When something goes wrong, some people immediately look for someone to blame. Their boss, the economy, their family, their friends, social media, or simply bad luck. While external circumstances certainly affect everyone, successful people focus on what they can control. They ask, what is the next best action I can take? Taking responsibility doesn't mean blaming yourself for everything. It means accepting that your future depends largely on the decisions you make from this point forward. Responsibility creates power. Excuses remove it. Another major difference appears when people think about money itself. Some people believe money is something to spend immediately. Others see money as a tool. A tool can create education, it can create opportunities, it can support businesses, it can build investments, it can provide security. Money itself is neither good nor bad. Its value depends on how it is used. People who build long-term financial success usually learn how to balance spending, saving, and investing in themselves. They understand that every dollar has a purpose. Another important difference involves risk. Some people avoid every challenge because they fear failure. Others understand that calculated risks are necessary for growth. Notice the word calculated. This doesn't mean making reckless decisions. It means learning first, researching carefully, preparing well, then taking action despite uncertainty. Every major achievement requires stepping outside your comfort zone. Growth rarely happens where everything feels easy. Another mindset difference is patience. Today's world encourages instant gratification. People expect immediate success, immediate followers, immediate income, immediate recognition. But meaningful success usually takes time. A tree doesn't grow overnight, neither does a business, neither does a valuable career. People with a long-term mindset remain consistent even when results are slow. They understand that invisible progress is still progress. Many improvements happen before anyone else notices them. Skills improve quietly. Confidence grows quietly. Discipline develops quietly. Eventually, the results become visible. Another powerful difference is the way people respond to successful individuals. Some people become jealous. They criticize. They complain. They assume success happened because of luck. Others become curious. They ask, what habits help this person succeed? What lessons can I learn? What strategies can I apply in my own life? Successful people become teachers instead of targets. Learning from others shortens your own learning curve. That doesn't mean copying everything. It means understanding principles. Every person's journey is unique, but many success principles remain surprisingly consistent. Discipline, consistency, learning, adaptability, patience, responsibility. Another important mindset shift involves goals. Many people only think about what they want. Few people think about who they need to become. Wanting success is easy. Becoming the type of person capable of creating success requires consistent effort. If your goal is financial growth, ask yourself, what habits would someone with that level of success practice every day? Focus on becoming that person. Results often follow identity. Finally, remember this. The biggest competition is not with someone else. It is with the person you were yesterday. Every day offers another opportunity to become slightly better. Read one more page, learn one new idea, improve one skill, make one smarter decision. Small improvements may seem insignificant today, but over time, they completely transform the direction of your life. The difference between where you are today and where you could be 5 years from now may not come from one extraordinary decision. It may come from hundreds of ordinary decisions made consistently. Because success is rarely built through one giant breakthrough. It is built through small actions repeated long enough to create extraordinary results. As your mindset begins to change, you start noticing something interesting. Success is rarely about making one perfect decision. Instead, it comes from making better decisions consistently over time. Every small choice you make today becomes part of the future you're creating. One of the biggest differences between a growth-oriented mindset and a limited mindset is the way people think about opportunities. Some people only see obstacles. Every challenge looks impossible before they even begin. They focus on reasons why something cannot work. They spend more time discussing problems than searching for solutions. Others train themselves to look beyond the obstacle. They ask, what opportunity exists inside this challenge? This simple shift changes the way they approach life. History is filled with examples of companies and individuals who found opportunities during difficult times because they focused on solving problems rather than complaining about them. Your attention determines your direction. If you constantly focus on limitations, your mind naturally finds more limitations. If you focus on possibilities, your mind begins searching for solutions. Another major difference appears in how people respond to failure. Many people see failure as proof they are not capable. Successful thinkers see failure as information. Every mistake provides feedback. Every setback teaches a lesson. Every unsuccessful attempt reveals a better approach. Imagine learning to ride a bicycle. Falling down doesn't mean you were never meant to ride. It simply means you're still learning balance. Life works the same way. The people who eventually succeed are usually the ones who refuse to let temporary failure become a permanent identity. They understand that one bad day does not define an entire future. Another powerful mindset difference is consistency. Motivation feels exciting. Consistency feels ordinary. Motivation comes and goes. Consistency stays. Many people wait until they feel motivated before taking action. The problem is that motivation is unpredictable. Some mornings you'll feel inspired. Other mornings you won't. Successful people don't depend entirely on motivation. They build routines. They create schedules. They develop habits that keep them moving even when they don't feel excited. That's why discipline often beats motivation. Discipline allows progress on both good days and difficult days. Another important difference involves comfort. Comfort feels safe. Growth often feels uncomfortable. Learning a new skill can feel frustrating. Starting a business can feel uncertain. Speaking in front of people may feel uncomfortable. Applying for opportunities may feel intimidating. But almost every meaningful achievement begins outside your comfort zone. That doesn't mean you should take reckless risks. It means you should gradually expand what feels comfortable. Each small challenge makes the next challenge easier. Confidence grows through action, not through waiting. One area where mindset becomes especially important is personal responsibility. People who continue growing ask themselves difficult questions. What could I improve? What mistake did I make? How can I do better next time? These questions aren't about self-criticism. They're about continuous improvement. When you honestly evaluate yourself, you give yourself the opportunity to grow. Another difference appears in the way people treat successful habits. Many people underestimate small habits because the results aren't immediate. Reading 10 pages today won't instantly change your life. Exercising once won't completely transform your health. Saving a small amount once won't create financial freedom. But repeated, consistently over years, these habits become incredibly powerful. Success is often invisible in the beginning, just like planting a seed. For a while, nothing seems to happen. Then slowly, growth becomes visible. Your habits work exactly the same way. The actions you repeat become the person you become. Another major difference is how people think about networking and relationships. People with a growth mindset understand that relationships matter. They treat people with respect, they listen carefully, they communicate honestly, they help others whenever possible. Strong relationships often create opportunities that skills alone cannot provide. This doesn't mean using people. It means building genuine trust. Trust is one of the most valuable assets anyone can develop. Another mindset difference involves comparison. Today, it's easy to compare yourself with thousands of people online. You see highlights, achievements, luxury lifestyles, big announcements. What you rarely see are the years of preparation, mistakes, sacrifices, and persistence behind those moments. Constant comparison can create frustration. Instead of comparing yourself with someone else's chapter 20, compare yourself with your own chapter yesterday. Measure progress against your previous version. That creates confidence instead of discouragement. Another powerful principle is delayed gratification. This simply means choosing a better future instead of immediate comfort. Imagine someone who spends every extra dollar immediately. Now imagine another person who invests part of that money into learning, building skills, or growing a business. Years later, those decisions often produce completely different outcomes. Delayed gratification isn't about avoiding enjoyment forever. It's about making thoughtful decisions that benefit your future as well as your present. Another important mindset difference is adaptability. The world changes constantly. Technology changes. Industries evolve. New opportunities appear. Old opportunities disappear. People who continue learning remain flexible. Instead of resisting change, they ask, what new skill should I develop? How can I improve? How can I stay valuable? Adaptability helps people remain relevant no matter how the world changes. Another difference involves confidence. Many people believe confidence comes before action. Actually, confidence usually follows action. The first presentation feels uncomfortable. The first video feels awkward. The first client conversation feels uncertain. But each experience builds confidence for the next one. Waiting until you feel completely confident often means waiting forever. Progress begins when you act despite uncertainty. Every small success becomes evidence that you're capable of more than you previously believed. Finally, remember this important truth. Your mindset doesn't change in one day. It changes through repeated choices. Choosing learning over excuses. Choosing discipline over distraction. Choosing patience over shortcuts. Choosing growth over comfort. Choosing responsibility over blame. Those choices may seem small individually, but together they create a completely different future. The life you build tomorrow depends largely on the decisions you make today. Every positive habit strengthens your mindset. Every lesson increases your wisdom. Every challenge develops resilience, and every step forward brings you closer to becoming the person you're capable of becoming. Because lasting success isn't created by luck. It's created by the mindset you practice every single day. As you continue building a stronger mindset, you'll eventually realize that success is not something you chase. It is something you gradually build. Every decision, every habit, and every lesson becomes another brick in the foundation of your future. One of the biggest differences between people who continue growing and those who remain stuck is how they define success. Some people measure success only by money. While financial stability is important, true success includes much more. It includes personal growth, meaningful relationships, good health, continuous learning, and the ability to create value for others. When your definition of success becomes balanced, your decisions become smarter. You stop chasing temporary rewards and begin focusing on long-term fulfillment. Another powerful mindset difference is how people respond to criticism. No matter what goal you pursue, someone will disagree with your choices. Some criticism is useful because it helps you improve. Other criticism simply reflects another person's opinion. Successful people learn to separate constructive feedback from unnecessary negativity. Instead of reacting emotionally, they ask themselves one simple question. Can this feedback help me improve? If the answer is yes, they use it to become better. If the answer is no, they move forward without allowing negativity to control their direction. This ability to stay focused is one of the greatest strengths you can develop. Another difference appears in the way people approach daily routines. Many successful individuals don't rely on complicated systems. They simply repeat productive habits consistently. They plan their day. They protect their focus. They prioritize important tasks before less important ones. They make time for learning. They review their progress.
These habits may sound simple, but simplicity repeated consistently creates extraordinary results. Small improvements every day eventually become major transformations.
Another important mindset shift is understanding that opportunities rarely arrive perfectly prepared. Many people wait until everything feels perfect before taking action. They wait for more confidence, more money, more experience, more time. The problem is that perfect conditions almost never exist. People who achieve meaningful goals usually begin before they feel completely ready. They prepare as much as possible, then they learn while moving forward. Action creates experience. Experience creates confidence. Confidence creates better opportunities. Waiting creates very little. Another valuable lesson is learning to focus on what truly matters. Modern life offers endless distractions, notifications, entertainment, social media, constant comparisons. If you allow every distraction to control your attention, your biggest goals slowly become smaller priorities. Successful people understand that attention is one of the most valuable resources they possess. They intentionally choose where their focus goes. They don't try to do everything. They identify the few activities that create the greatest progress and give those activities their best effort. This is the power of focus. Another mindset difference is gratitude. Gratitude does not mean pretending life is perfect. It means recognizing progress while continuing to pursue improvement. People who appreciate what they already have often make better decisions because they operate from confidence instead of fear. Gratitude creates perspective. Perspective creates emotional balance. And emotional balance helps people make wiser, long-term decisions. Another important habit is lifelong learning. The world continues changing faster than ever before. New technologies appear, industries evolve, skills become outdated, new opportunities emerge. The people who continue learning remain prepared for these changes. Reading books, taking courses, listening carefully, asking thoughtful questions, practicing new skills. Learning never truly ends. The moment someone believes they know everything is often the moment growth begins to slow down. Curiosity keeps progress alive. Another major difference is integrity. Your reputation is built over years that can be damaged very quickly. People trust individuals who consistently keep their promises, communicate honestly, and treat others with respect. Integrity creates credibility. Credibility creates opportunities. Many successful careers are built not only on talent, but also on trust. People enjoy working with those they can depend on. Another powerful lesson involves patience. Today's culture often celebrates overnight success stories, but behind almost every visible success are years of invisible preparation. Long hours, continuous learning, mistakes, adjustments, persistence. The public usually notices success only after years of effort have already passed. That's why patience is such a valuable advantage. If you stay committed while others quit too early, your chances of long-term success increase dramatically. One of the greatest mindset changes happens when you stop asking, "What can I get?" and begin asking, "What value can I provide?" This question transforms everything. Businesses grow by creating value. Professionals advance by creating value. Creators build audiences by creating value. Leaders inspire people by creating value. When helping others becomes part of your mindset, opportunities naturally begin to multiply. Success often follows contribution. Another important realization is that discipline creates freedom. At first, discipline feels restrictive. Waking up early, following a schedule, learning consistently, managing finances carefully. These habits require effort, but over time, discipline produces freedom. Financial freedom, time freedom, career opportunities, confidence, peace of mind. Temporary comfort often creates long-term difficulty. Temporary discipline often creates long-term freedom. Finally, remember this. No one is born with a perfect mindset. Every successful person has experienced fear, doubt, failure, disappointment, moments of uncertainty. The difference is not that they never struggled. The difference is that they continued learning, adapting, and moving forward. Your past does not define your future. Your current circumstances do not permanently determine your destination. What matters most is the direction you choose today. Every positive decision strengthens your future. Every skill you learn increases your value. Every challenge you overcome increases your confidence. Every disciplined action moves you closer to your goals. You don't need to become someone else to create a better life. You simply need to become a better version of yourself than you were yesterday. Success is not reserved for a small group of extraordinary people. It is available to ordinary people who consistently practice extraordinary habits. So start today. Protect your time, value learning, stay disciplined, think long-term, focus on creating value, be patient with your progress, and remember that every great achievement begins with one decision, the decision to improve. Your future is shaped by what you repeatedly do, not by what you occasionally wish for. Choose growth over excuses. Choose responsibility over blame. Choose action over fear. Choose consistency over perfection. Because in the end, the biggest difference between a rich mindset and a poor mindset is not where someone starts. It is how they choose to think, learn, act, and grow every single day.
That choice belongs to you, and the best time to make it is now.